As the 2027 elections approach, it appears old divisions are already resurfacing. However, a coalition of grassroots leaders is urging the citizens to rise above sectional politics and judge candidates by their record, competence, and their integrity, not their ethnic background. The group says Nigeria cannot afford another cycle driven by identity alone. Well, I'm being joined by Bemgba Iortyom, who's here in the studio, an advocate of local government autonomy. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope I pronounced your name well.
Yeah, you tried Iortyom.
Iortyom.
Yes.
Iortyom. Okay.
Right.
Bemgba Iortyom. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure once again being here.
This matter of the Electoral Act 2026, I mean, it's been signed into law. And you heard in that citizens' town hall yesterday, people talking about the need to, that there are some errors that need to be looked at. And we heard Ezekwesili say we shouldn't even look at those provisos rather. But what do you think about the Electoral Act?
Yeah, there are quite a number of highlights there. The issue of electronic transmission of results, the mode of primaries to be adopted by political parties, the timeline for submission of a list of candidates to INEC by political parties, the timelines for INEC to publish list of candidates for the general elections and all of that, funding of INEC, and then, expenditure, spending caps by candidates, and all of those. But then if you look at it deep down, there are, to me, two sticking points there. Mm-hmm. Electronic transmission of results at the polling units and the issue of mode of primaries. Now, of course, citizens are upbeat about the issue of transmission of results because it has always been the desire of Nigerians that let's have real-time transmission of results from the polling units direct to the INEC server. Because that way, Nigerians feel the process will be more credible. They will have more confidence and they hope that their votes will count. But all said and done, beyond the anger of citizens and all that, let's face the facts. We have the issue of technological infrastructure. We are looking at a system which must be powered by technology for you to be able to transmit results in real time from the polling units to the INEC server. You need to have very strong network on ground.
We'll go at a quick break, yeah. But when we come back, you mentioned citizens, you talked about technology. There are those who will argue with you that right now, Mr. Iortyom, we're able, in the remotest part of this country, yeah, whether there is road or no road, we have people with the POS device who are able to do financial transactions real time, and they transfer huge sums. You agree with me, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So why do we always hang on to this technology thing as if that's a major problem when we can do that financially, but we are afraid of allowing that for our election?
That needs to be fixed. That's the point I was driving at.
Okay.
That's the point. I wasn't defending it.
Okay. We'll come back. Yeah. We'll take a moment. We'll come back because there's when you mentioned citizens, we need to look at how citizens even see the elections. Yeah. We'll do that in a moment. Just stay with us. Welcome back. We still have Mr. Bemgba Iortyom here in the studio. Before we went on that break, we're talking about the Electoral Act, yeah, which has, and then a few issues here and there that have been looked at. You talked about resolving the technology issue, yeah, and the party primaries. Yes, that's a sore thumb for you. Yeah. But before when you were going there, you mentioned the citizens, yes, and we are already seeing what happened in 2023, for instance, where we saw tribe, ethnicity, and all of those things creating divisions among the citizenry. Some would be wondering, would the citizens even think to unite in terms of like looking at competence instead of looking at tribe and all of that? Even with this Electoral Act, can Nigeria be united in the next election, even with this Electoral Act?
Yeah, that's one area that the leadership elite, those of us who are, agitating about the defects and the shortcomings, the shortfalls in the Electoral Act, we are looking at putting the blame on the government, those who are in authority. That's fine. They should improve on things. They should improve on those areas that we are finding we have dissatisfaction with. But then The citizens have their own part to play. We are the ones who vote. We are the ones who are led to take the decisions, why the leadership elite only harvest the decisions that we take. And that is where the efforts that are being, championed now, being pushed by the Nalgon Emeritus, that's the
former local government.
Former local government chairman headed by Shaba Ibrahim, and chaired by Senator for Zamfara West and former governor of Zamfara State, Senator Abdulaziz Yari. That's where their efforts come in, as instructive now. We are talking about citizens being conscientized to understand that we can only have a credible electoral process which comes from the people on the basis that they are voting for candidates on the basis of the competence that they see in those candidates. No longer on the basis of those primordial considerations like where a candidate comes from, is from my own ethnic group, is from my own religious background, is from my own region, and all of those things. This is the sticking point for me, because you have put in place the best electoral system. Yet, if you have a citizenry that is not oriented properly to understand the core imperatives of leadership recruitment and putting in place the right people into offices of public trust, we are still going to have the same problem. It's not about just what the electoral process says. It's about what the citizens want. It should be a transactional thing.
Because good or bad governance will be enjoyed by both by all tribes.
All tribes and all of that. So citizens' orientation is key. The people need to understand that for us to have a Nigeria that works for every one of us, we need to, on our own, go out there at the polling units, through our ballot, put in place those people who represent the kind of Nigeria that we want. You don't just put in place anyone on the basis, oh, he's from my own tribe. At the end of the day, those people who you voted into office who were from your own tribe, how did they better your lot?
All right, thank you so much. Mr. Bemgba Iortyom is a local government autonomy advocate. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you.
We do appreciate it.
It's always a pleasure being here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.